a man like me is never loved. A man like me is never respected. And many years ago, I accepted that. And I continue accepting it. Never, child, ask why. Ask Jesus Christ hanging on the cross. Why did they crucify you? Human beings are like that. Babulala ababasindisayo. Ask Buddha. Why, Lord Buddha of India, did you die a lonely death under a tree? Ask the Prophet Muhammad. Prophet, one of your wives poisoned you and murdered you. Peace be to you. Why did she do that? And even now, the pain in my life is not yet ended, far from it. There are things that have gone on in South Africa which would make the mountains cry. There are stories which should be told in this country, but which will never be told. All I can tell you is that the burning of our home in 1976 was not the only or the first agony through which I and your late mother went. Nezipho, don't get angry over shadows. Let the pains of the past go by, because if you do, your soul becomes corrupted. Your soul becomes warped. Nezipho, I don't want the Mutwa name to become a name of anger. I foresaw the coming of a terrible disease which was to decimate our people. And people laughed at me when I said this. They said, we are pooper when we are better when I'm Mutwa.
I am Diana Collins-Smith, a healer, psychic channel, land healer, and seeker of the true history of Africa and the world. My intention in making this documentary series of interviews is to record the knowledge held by wisdom keepers. We need this information in order to move forward in our evolution into the new golden age. In the recent past, we have been misled by false knowledge and history of this planet and our human journey. Who are we? Where do we come from? Where are we going? What is our purpose? How can we make a difference? Many of these wisdom keepers, indigenous people here in Africa and abroad, have answers to those questions. Master Afra, the Ascended Master of Africa, speaks about brotherhood, sisterhood, community, and Ubuntu. This is what we must create in order for humanity to survive and to thrive. I hope you enjoy this interview and you learn something new that you can take with you and spread into your own community to bring heartness and love and Ubuntu back into this world, into this continent. Thank you for watching. Good morning, everyone. My name is Diana Collins-Smith, and I am here at the Oppenheimer Cultural Village in Soweto on this beautiful winter's morning with Lebohong Selo. Hello, Lebohong. Thank you. Very well, thank you. Wonderful to be here with you. Lebohong is the adopted son of beloved Credo Mutwa, and he was also one of Credo's students. So we're going to be talking to him today about his knowledge, about Credo's life. But I'd like to start level with a bit of history about you. Where were you born? Who were your parents? And how did you become the adopted son of beloved Baba Credo?
Good morning, everybody. Good morning to the viewers. My name is Silo, born and breastfed in Soweto.
And then when did your journey start with Baba as a...
Well, I would say my journey with Baba started at the early age, when we were still young boys. When we were still boys, we'd come here playing drums for the traditional years, not knowing as time goes on, I'll be the one who's going to come and make sure that I protect and become the guardian of the space. What happened is 16 years ago, in fact, before 16 years ago, before I came to the space, you know, when you start going to school, when you go to secondary, you start dating. So when you date, you start doing things, you forget about other things. Then as I was speaking about space, then I ended up working with different kind of organization. There was one of the greatest organizations that I still admire, even today, that they call Soweto Kliptown Youth. Kliptown Youth.
Yeah,
it was created in 1988 by Bob Nameng, which is older than democracy. It is an organization that used dance theater to tell the stories of of Kliptown, things that affect the community of Kliptown, because of Kliptown is still an informal settlement even today. And so the Kliptown Youth gave birth to other organizations, the likes of KYP was born out of Soweto Kliptown Youth, which is Sky. So I was working for that. I was part of the volunteers there, teaching dance, teaching theater, using team buildings, working with different people coming down there. So it happens that in 2006, 7, yeah, when I came here, what happened is we had a misunderstanding because of there were funds that came in there. You know, as people working together without no fund, trying to go back to their ends means, when some, especially if you were never workshopped about the funding. When funding comes, everybody wants to grab a piece of that. So it was more of not misunderstanding me and other certain members of the organization because of me and Pope, like, no, guys, the director or the CEO of Soweto, guys, you understand, we've got problems in our families. But remember, this funding is for the children, to run the kitchen for the children and to others. So they were not saying, but we understand you are the ones that we want. So they were so misunderstood. Said to Pop, no. Because of these people are against what we are trying to do. Let me just, for now, Jane, have a break and see what can I do. But I was still living in Kliptown. So I took a walk, just walking in the street, not knowing where I go. So I ended up finding myself in the space.
Well, let's just tell our audience a little bit about what the space is. So this was built as the Oppenheimer Cultural Village back whenever, a long time ago.
Let me say,
and they built the towers here.
Let me say, the first thing to be here was the tower, which was built in 1957 in honor of Sir Ernest Oppenheimer. The land was dry, the vegetation was never there. It was only the tower standing there. Hence, they used to call it Oppenheimer Tower. So in 1974, let me say, in the late 1973, Credo Mutwa met up with who's this guy? Gilbert Briscoe, who was the director of the Parks Board. They had an office in Deep Clove. So Credo Mutwa had an open air museum in his house, doing these sculptures in his house. So they were never protected, but he was using a paper mache to make that. And some were destroyed by the weather, and the library was destroyed by the weather, rains and all the stuff. So when they met with Gilbert Briscoe said, no, I understand what you're doing, I love your job and all the stuff. There is an open land, that side, whereby there is only a tower, the land is dry. Let's go and check if you cannot utilize the space to do your artworks, to preserve your artworks and teach other people, especially those who will be coming down to learn about the culture of an African child. That's how they met with Gilbert Briscoe. Gilbert Briscoe said that I will introduce you because I'm a friend to the Oppenheimer families. And then he was introduced to the families, to the Oppenheimers. Then they discussed about the land. Then he was given a lease of 10 years to start working here. Yes, they had the other agreements because of that time it was difficult as a black person to have a land.
So that was 1974, 73,
73 because of the building of the village started in 74.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you said he was here till about 1984, so about
He stayed
10
there
years?
until 1984.
Why did he
Let me say 85, called 84 because of it was a 10 years. 85, after the lease of 10 years, it was like, no, you are settled now. So 85, when he left, it was after he had a huge dispute with the traditional healers of Soweto. Because of the traditional of Soweto thought that Baba was taking a sacred information to the enemies. Because of spiritual, we got to protect. So remember, when Christianity came in, they managed to take through spirituality. So Baba wanted to protect this, save this space, to fight the system spiritually. But the problem with the other associations, traditions was like, no, there are certain things that you cannot speak about with these people. So that is why they had a dispute, they had a fight, they never misunderstood each other. So after he had fought with them and then chased him out of here, he went to Mafikeng because of he has built a village like this in Mafikeng under Muputatswana, under Mangope's ruling. And that is where he stayed. Then he left the Letamureng when after Mangope, after he made a prophecy about that there's going to be a Mandela will come out of prison. And then when he come out of prison, he's going to overthrow his government as Muputatswana. Muputatswana will fall under South Africa. He chased Baba away. Baba came back to Deep Blue, but he never settled because of his talent. He was a person who would travel around, travel the world, learning and meeting other shamans, other traditional leaders, because of Baba loved education more than anything. That is why he wanted to be a teacher. Yes, he was a teacher, but not a formal teacher, the one that you have to qualify. He wanted to be that. Fortunately, the spirits or the Mother Nature spirits didn't lead him into go to a box class and say 1 + 1 is 2. They gave him a circle, a sangala for Baba. You can be able to teach using African skills, African way of life. So that's how Baba left the place after he had a dispute with the traditional leaders of Soweto.
But there had also been an attempt on his life, hadn't there?
The attempt, yes, there were attempts.
Yeah.
There were a lot of attempts. Because there were others who had jealousy again because of the power that Baba possessed. You know, there are those who would love you and there are those who will hate you.
Yeah.
Because of the power and the gift that he had. Because of Baba had those gifts when he was still a young boy. Baba would heal, had the power to heal when he was still poor. By the age of 8 years, Baba would heal.
Okay. Lebo, just to go back to your lineage, so looking into your face, you look like you have some Bushman in you. Is that right?
I would say so, because of all of us, as the two people, especially those who were born, I would say, in SADC, 70-80% of us, our lineage goes by the Kwa and the San people, the Kwa and the Kwa people. Yes.
And do you know which side that is from, your father's side or your mother's side?
It's mainly from my father's side.
Okay.
Yes.
Right. Interesting. Very interesting.
And both, they come from the very same clan. They are the Bataung clan.
Okay.
And they're the Basotho. So I'm the king
of that
in my clan, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Because of both my parents, they were born in the very same clan.
Very interesting. Very interesting. All right, so going back to Baba, so then Baba left here, and where did he go?
So for when he left the space, he went and worked in Shamwar. He went to Henops.
Henops?
Yes,
Oh, I didn't know he'd lived in Henops.
Yes,
Okay.
he's got a village in Henops.
Has he?
Yes, Mahalisbeck.
Okay.
Yes.
And how long was he there for?
He spent a few years there. Then from Henops, he went to Eastern Cape.
Yes.
Shamwari.
Okay.
Game Reserve.
Okay.
Before it was a game reserve, Baba was there. He's the one who built it.
He built it?
Yes. Before it became a game reserve, it was a village. Baba's village there.
Okay.
Then that is when from there he ended up, because of after the death of after the passed on of land of Mangobo.
Who was his wife?
Ngobomkhulu.
Yes.
Mamnandi, the one who gave Baba 7 best, powerful, beautiful, and handsome children.
Children.
Yes.
So when did she die? What date was that?
She passed on in the year 2010. No, 2000. No, 2010. No, in the year 2000. Then 2010 it was Nandi. Yeah.
Okay. And then where did he go to from there?
Then from there, that is when, after the death of Uland, after the death of Mangobo, he went back to Putatswana because he had a house in Putatswana. He had a house, he still have a house in Putatswana. One of his sons still lives in Putatswana, and his grandchildren are still in Putatswana.
So whereabouts in Putatswana? Because that's
let me say in Northwest, in Mafeking.
Mafeking, okay.
Yeah, in Mafeking.
All right.
I still replace in Putatswana, in Mafeking. So he still have a house there. So from there, then after World was still in Mafeking, or after the death of Mama, he called all of them after the funeral. He called all his children in Mafeking to be seated standardly and tell them that they know that the mother is no longer there. So he must take another person who will take care of him because of they won't be able to take care of will be made and stuff. That is when she took Ujisaleti Virginia. Because of Virginia came as an initiate, and she was the one who was cooking for them. She was the helper, their helper at the same time. Then they didn't expect that she will choose Disality as a wife. They thought maybe might take Mahangisa or Mam Koka as a wife. Then she took Disality. Then when they still dated together, then they decided to move out and settle in Kurumani. The reason why he went to Kurumani, it was not because of he wanted to settle there, because of he was tired. And he wanted to go to a hiding where nobody cannot disturb his spirit, his peacefulness. But fortunately, there was always satellites. They managed to trace him.
I met him several times in Kuruman.
Yes.
And I believe that's where Virginia came from. That was her hometown.
Originally, Virginia is a Quaison.
Is she a Quaison?
100%.
From where, though?
100%. I think she's from Namibia. 100%.
Okay.
100%.
Well, of course, there's a lot of Khoisan in that area.
Yes.
Kuruman,
So Kuruman, it's just because of they go down like this. So remember, it's not far from there. So they come down to Kuruman. That is why you find a lot of the Khoisans in Kuruman.
Yeah, very interesting. All right, so that's where I met him, in Kuruman. I never met him when he lived here. All of these sculptures that he's built here at the Oppenheimer Cultural Village here in Soweto, they all have significance and meaning.
Yes.
So we're going to go into that a little bit later in the interview as to what all of these things mean. And I presume he built them under commission by the Oppenheimer family.
No, he was never commissioned by the Oppenheimer families.
Okay.
He was endorsed by the Parks Board.
Yes.
Because of the people who were working under him. Their salaries came from the Parks Board. So he had a good relationship with the Parks Board because of most of the material came from the Parks Board. So when they're cleaning all the waste material, when they were cleaning the cemeteries, they will collect all the waste materials and bring them here. And Baba will take that waste and turn it into art. But that is why when he left the space, he requested the city park, by then it was still Parks Board, before the city parks came to be, that please, when I leave, all my men, people who are working for me, please put them under the Parks Board. That is why those people that they have him and that they end up working for the city parks.
Okay.
So he was, you can say he was not commissioned as such, but endorsed by the land, by the Parks Board.
Okay, because this site needs to be protected by the Parks Board or whoever it is, so that it's not vandalized.
Which is the case. Coming here, when I came here 16 years ago, there was a huge red tape here. A huge red tape. The aim was to destroy the space, and the aim was to crush the work that Baba left behind and the legacy of Baba by the system itself.
So
That is why even today, I'm still fighting with the system. I'm still fighting with the government to protect the space. Yes, they've been promising, I understand the community out there, they see project coming, not understanding what I'm going through with the space. Even today, I'm still fighting with the government. Even today, they don't do anything for the space, the government. Today, they have employers who are working. If you can go right now, they're sitting up there not doing anything. The very same ladies who came and took the chairs are the ones who are supposed to be cleaning the space. They're not doing anything. Today I've got a short breath because of the space. Fortunately, I don't have a touch of a TP because of the space. Without anybody supporting me, without any cent from the government that it will come. But what they do is they always take credits.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
but it's not for them. It is for the
Thank
legacy
you
of
for the
Obama.
work that you do. It's very significant work. And one day the protection will come, the money will come to protect these places. So in the meantime, thank you for the work that you're doing here. Can you tell us a little bit about Credo's background? We know that he was a Zulu shaman. He took initiation as a Zulu shaman at Adam's Calendar in the Eastern Transvaal, what is known now as Mpumalanga.
Mpumalanga, yes.
And then he decided to break silence about the secrets of being a Zulu shaman. Do you know what his reason was for breaking the silence?
Each and every person has a purpose in this world. And then there are people who were brought in this world to break the chain of slavery, to break the chain of the mental slavery, to break those codes that are placed there, that people need to know the truth, what is happening. So Baba, why he managed to break that and speak about that? It is because he felt that there is a lot of things that people need to know about, especially an African child, that there are certain things that are happening that they need to know, that the world or certain few, I don't want to say cult, but few people are controlling them. So this is the time maybe I should break the case and tell the people what is happening, so that if you want to go there, you should understand and be ready and prepared. What are you going to face there? That is why he had to pray. He had to break the code and speak about what is happening to become a shaman.
Which was a very dangerous thing to do. He was very brave to do that.
Already has been braved before. Remember, the first bravery that he showed, it is when he sacrificed some of his life to preserve the space, to create the space. It was never easy as a black child or as a black person to be given such a space to push, especially your beliefs. Because of, remember, South Africa, it's a Christian, mainly it's a Christian country.
Yes.
Whereby people who were not allowed to perform the ways of worshiping.
Yes.
So Credo Mutwa was given the space. That says there is something that he had to sacrifice to make sure that this space stays and teach the black child.
Yes.
So that is where the bravery came up.
Yes.
Then later it was like, let me break the chain.
What was interesting is that Credo was not a Zulu. He was half Zulu. So he wasn't 100% Zulu.
Half Zulu, half Khoisan.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. So for him to have had been initiated as a Zulu shaman was already unusual, I would have thought.
Yeah.
You know, that they had taken him into the fold and then he went and broke silence. But I believe, as you say, that was because he was told that he needed to just break free, so let people know what was going on.
You should understand the Spirit speaks to us in many ways.
So he was initiated at Adam's Calendar, which we know is a very sacred site.
Inzalo Yelanga.
Is that what the name is?
Yeah, we call it Inzalo Yelanga.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there's a grave there